Hello again, everyone. As always, this is Araka Bar, Seeking the Truth. My video topic for today will be discussing Halloween, or originally called Samhain. Now, the modern holiday of Halloween that is celebrated in America actually originates from a European pagan holiday linking directly to the Celtic winter festival called Samhain. Samhain goes back to the ancient Celts in Ireland. The Celtic festival Samhain was traditionally observed from October 31st to November 1st. Samhain was a Celtic word meaning summer's end. The Celts believed that summer came to an end on October 31st and the new year began on November 1st with the start of winter. It was believed that on the night of October 31st, the souls of the dead rose from their graves and wandered the earth, interacting with the physical world. This day was widely associated with ghosts, witches, goblins, vampires, werewolves, fairies, and all kinds of demonic spirits. It was during this time that those who practiced in the occult attempted to communicate with the supernatural powers of the spirit world. In addition, this night was thought to be the most favorable time for divinations concerning marriage, luck, health, and death. Even still today, Halloween is a significant day in the year on which the help of the devil is commonly used to invoke certain spirits or demons. Anton LaVey is best known as the founder of the Church of Satan and being the author of the Satanic Bible. In the Satanic Bible, LaVey writes, "The two main satanic holy days after one's birthday are Whooper's Night, meaning Witch's Night, and Halloween. So according to America's most well-known Satanist, Halloween is considered the third highest day on the satanic calendar. In ancient times, at sunset on October 31st, Celtic priests known as Druids would begin the formal ceremonies of Samhain by lighting a giant bonfire. In most, if not all of these accounts, Samhain is immersed in sexual orgies and blood sacrifice. People would gather and dance around the fire to burn crops, have masked orgies, and sacrifice animals and sometimes even humans. They did all of this to appease their Celtic deities. This was all considered a method of worship to pagans. When the Romans conquered the Celts in 43 AD, they claimed the majority of the Celtic lands. Over time, Romans began combining many of the Celtic traditions and beliefs with their own. The two Roman holidays merged with Samhain were the Festival of Feralia, which celebrated the souls of the dead, and the Festival of Pomona, which honored the goddess of fruitful abundance. With the growth of Christianity in the 800s AD, the church in England tried to Christianize the old Celtic festivals. Pope Boniface IV designated the 1st of November as All Saints' Day, honoring saints as martyrs. He also decreed October 31st as All Hallows' Eve. Through time, All Hallows' Eve became known as Halloween. Scholars today widely accept the Pope was attempting to replace the earlier pagan festival with a church-sanctioned holiday. The term trick or treat is related to the idea that wandering spirits created mischief on this particular night. The Druids believed that failure to worship their gods properly would bring forth serious consequences. If the gods and the dead souls were not treated properly, they would seek vengeance on the living. In an effort to appease the spirits, people would leave food and drink outside of their homes as treats for the spirits. It was believed that if someone did not do this, then the spirits would then trick or haunt the living. People feared terrible things might happen to them if they did not honor these demonic spirits. For the majority of people, Halloween was known as a day of fear. It only later became a day of fun and mockery simply to disguise their fear. The traditional focus of All Hallows' Eve revolves around the theme of using humor and ridicule to confront the power of fear and death. The Celts believed that dead souls were set free from the underworld during the eve of Samhain. Halloween costumes originated with the Celtic Druid ceremonial participants. They typically were known for wearing animal heads and skins to acquire the strength of a particular spirit. Halloween masks and costumes later became widely used at pagan festivals to hide one's attendance or to change the personality of the wearer to allow them to communicate with or hide from wandering spirits. Costumes and masks were worn by some to ward off unwanted spirits and by others to try to attract and absorb the power of certain spirits. Many who practice in the occult welcome the idea of demon possession. It was believed that on this day, the link between the physical world and the spirit world was stronger, and hence provided extra energy for communication between the living and the dead. On this night, locals would seek out Druid priests and Celtic shamans to have their fortunes told through a variety of methods, such as witchcraft and necromancy. Now that we understand the origins of Halloween, let's examine the word of the Most High and see what he has to say concerning these days. First, we'll go to the scripture of the book of Ephesians, chapter 5, verse 11, and it reads, "And have no fellowship with the unfruitful works of darkness, but rather reprove them." This specifically means do not participate with those who do evil. Instead, we are supposed to correct them. Next, go to the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 18, verses 10 through 12. "There shall not be found among you anyone that maketh his son or his daughter to pass through the fire, or that useth divination, or an observer of times, or an enchanter, or a witch, or a charmer, or a consulter with familiar spirits, or a wizard, or a necromancer. For all that do these things are an abomination unto the Lord. And because of these abominations, the Lord thy God doth drive thee out from before thee." Here we see mention of characters typically glorified during the time of Halloween. Fortune tellers, witches, warlocks, and mediums are all called abominations. Isaiah chapter 5, verse 20. "Woe unto them that call evil good, and good evil, that put darkness for light, and light for darkness, and that put bitter for sweet, and sweet for bitter." This is a warning to anyone that calls anything evil good. Halloween is clearly an evil and satanic day of worship, regardless of how many ignore its true nature. You can't take something evil and turn it to something good. Leviticus 19, verse 31. "Regard not them that have familiar spirits, neither seek after wizards to be defiled by them. I am the Lord your God." We are told to not even bother with ghosts or souls of the dead. To do so would be to make yourself unclean. 1 Corinthians chapter 10, verses 20 through 21. "But I say that the things which the Gentiles sacrifice, they sacrifice to devils, and not to God. I would not that you should have fellowship with devils. You cannot drink the cup of the Lord and the cup of devils. You cannot be partakers of the Lord's table and the table of devils." These deities that the Celts sacrificed to were devils, and we are supposed to have nothing to do with them. You cannot be a true follower of the Most High and practice in the celebrations honoring demons. 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verses 21 through 22. "Prove all things, hold fast that which is good, abstain from all appearance of evil." Don't just blindly accept everything that you've been told. Seek the truth and refrain from anything that resembles evil. Halloween is another pagan holiday that was made prominent through the Roman Catholic Church. If you believe in the Bible and are a follower of Christ, you should have nothing to do with this day of worship to Satan. Now, with that being said, as always, I have more videos on my playlist that you can click on that go into more detail. But please never take my word for it, and remember to always seek the truth. Thank you for watching. Shalom.